There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Betway's exclusive new games are taking the world by storm. Featuring massive Megaways jackpots. Take your shot on Cash and Riches, Wolf Blaze, Gallo Gold Brunos, and many more incredible experiences for you to choose from. You're guaranteed to find a new ultra fun favorite. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. NRGP Counseling Line 0800 006 008. All events are fixed odds betting games.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Move, dance,
sing along. This is Unplugged
on 702.
24 minutes to 1 o'clock. Time for 702 Unplugged, which is brought to you by F&B Premier. Switch to F&B Premier today. Spend and stand to win. I'm so excited for this conversation we're going to be having and, of course, listening to the music around the Black Hole Symphony. If you have been listening to the station, you would have heard us advertising. It started off yesterday. There'll be a performance today as well, and there'll be one tomorrow. And if you're like, what is this Black Hole Symphony? When science, music, art, performance, and just once-in-a-lifetime experiences come together, that is what you get. And joining us in studio, and we take your calls with your questions on 011 883 0702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702 are Yashin Modi, who's an actuary, composer, and performer, as well as Dr. Luca Pontigio, who's a PhD physicist, a data scientist, and a speaker. Gents, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
I
having us.
never imagined that, because there aren't that many left and right-brained individuals, that this would come together so seamlessly and so smartly. I'm going to start with you, Doctor. What even made you want to be a part of something like this?
I would say it came from when I was doing my PhD. I went to a lot of public science talks. And I'm the kind of person who gets very excited emotionally about scientific ideas, very abstract concepts, multiple dimensions, what happens out there in the universe. You know, that's not really accessible to most people. And I kind of had this idea, I wanted to create an emotional response in people if I were ever to have the chance to give a talk. And so it was sitting with me for a long time. And eventually, through the grapevine of luck, I was able to do a talk. I put some music into it, and it had that response. It was just a Hans Zimmer interstellar piece of music. It was
You can never go wrong with Hans Zimmer.
The point is, it worked so well.
Because what he does is almost a science.
Exactly.
That could be studied.
And so I think I was like, all right, I think this idea of bringing music is such a fantastic way to create emotion while I'm telling a story. I met Yash. Yash is a self-taught pianist, and we met while we worked together at Discovery. And I said, hey, let's try this idea. I got a talk. You can play the piano, and it sort of took off from there.
And I have to be honest, before this was scheduled, or before I even knew this was scheduled, I saw you speaking on TikTok, and I thought, this is so brilliant. So I said to my producer, we need to have them in studio. Then she's like, oh no, we're ahead of you.
We got you. Didn't read your mind.
This is way too brilliant. So for those that don't know, chat us through what the basic concept is of this experience. Because I don't even want to say show. I feel like it's more than a show.
Yeah, it is, simply put, a scientific story about black holes. about their role in the universe, both in terms of how they regulate the galaxies and how they're responsible for our existence and might be responsible for our survival. So that's a story. Then you have the music, which is composed by Yash, mainly on piano, but then composed for 32 string instruments with the Johannesburg Philharmonic. So you have a 32-piece Philharmonic orchestra on stage. And then you're backed with a massive screen showing cinematic visuals that are accompanying the story. So visually you can understand what I said through words and what Yash is doing with the music.
Yash, talk to me about how you marry the left and right brain so beautifully, because you don't get to be an actuary without being exceptionally intelligent. And also to be a composer and a performer, I mean, being self-taught is something I absolutely respect, that somebody just has the natural gift of being able to figure it out for themselves and imitate what they hear and then create stories with their own perspective.
Well, it's an interesting story that the way I started playing was my dad used to constantly listen to this song called Scarborough Fair by Simon and Garfunkel. Back in the days of CDs. So we put the CD.
It's really not that far back. Now I'm like, oh my
back
gosh.
in time.
Back in the olden days with CDs and CD-ROMs.
Yonder years.
So I put the CD in, and we just happened to move into a house where the previous owners left their old upright piano behind.
What?
And so some keys were missing, very out of tune. But
It wasn't worth moving.
It's exactly. But it birthed this whole story. I mean, I had this desire to play this piece. I'd been hearing it so often. And I'm like, let me just see if I can work it out. So no sheet music, anything. So I just listened to the piece on the CD player. And by the end of the day, by the time he came back home, I was like, hey, check this out. Doesn't this sound like the piece? And it sounded like the piece. And they were like, okay, maybe there's something here. So we renovated the piano, but we fixed it up, tuned it, and then I started playing. And then my school teacher at music teacher said, you should consider some classical training. So that's when I started entering competitions. I won my first one 2 years later at the Sanlam National Competition.
Wow.
But I was also very interested in analytics and maths and science. Not at the level of the PhD over here, but I was inclined towards that type of thing at school. So it didn't ever feel like a trade-off. When I chose actuarial science, it was also something that, the analytical side also, I'm drawn to that type of thing. So I said, let's explore that during university. So I went to Wits and studied actuarial science, became an actuary. But then I ended up at Discovery, and that's where I met Luca. And he had this wacky idea. It's actually his sister who said, why don't you get someone to play the music live? And then I wasn't just going to play the music for the first 5 minutes. So we said, okay, let's put some pieces of Hans Zimmer behind the whole talk. Eventually, we kept on selling out, and we said, let's take this to the Joburg Theatre, but we can't exactly use other people's music.
Yes.
So that's when I said, okay, I need to start composing, which was also a first. But we tend to be delusional about the amount of things we can do. This Black Hole Symphony, I literally cold emailed info@jpo.co.za.
Wow. And they were like, this sounds crazy.
Okay.
We love it.
I did add some credentials. I said, I am a pianist. I'm not just some random person who wants to be with a JPO on stage. So they said, no, we trust you. And get us the music in 4 weeks. I was like, okay, that's a tight deadline. Let me start composing for the string musicians. And then we made it happen, and it's amazing. We did our first show last night, sold out, and just to hear your own music being emotionally communicated by 32 other musicians it was incredible.
I love this story, and I really hope everybody listening is as inspired as I am, because it really doesn't matter what you're doing in your job. What you guys have done with the Black Hole Symphony is the kind of calling work, that internal fire burning thing of wanting to do something for yourself and share that gift with people. So in terms of today's performance, because you're going to give us a sneak peek, so we're not going to have the visuals, but what are we going to have today?
So we're going to have a combination of music and spoken word.
Yes.
So the basis of our shows is I speak, Yash plays, and there's visuals.
Yes.
The Black Hole Symphony is a bit more geared towards the music because we want to elevate and really put it in the center stage. So we're going to explore a couple of key pieces, And I'm going to be telling a little bit of a story that is associated with these pieces and how they came to life when we were creating them. And that's the idea. So we will experience the music with a bit of the story and the creative process.
And for those of you who want to head over and check out the Black Hole Symphony, it is in collaboration with the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra. Started yesterday, and it is an immersive experience. Takes place from yesterday, today, 29th as well, tomorrow at the Wits Linda Auditorium, where you can just have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Are there tickets still available?
They are. So just as a correction there's nothing today, it's tomorrow, there's 2 shows.
I see.
So we have one at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and one at 7 o'clock in the evening. We do not have that many tickets left. There's about less than 200 left. So
of the 2,000, so it's a 1,000-seater venue. So 2,000 tickets available for tomorrow, but about 1,800 gone so far.
Is it child-friendly?
It is. We recommend 8+,
Yes.
just because if they're too young, sometimes it can be a bit restless.
Yes.
But we have had a lot of kids coming to watch, and we've often had comments from parents who say, I don't think I've seen my kid not reach for the phone in more than an hour ever.
Wow.
So it's extremely immersive for kids from 8-year-olds to 80-year-old, different cultures, different backgrounds, different religions, different educational systems. It's for everyone.
So this show is if Einstein and Mozart had a baby, basically.
We like to like Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer.
That's the way we like to talk about it.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm
I
Christopher
love
Nolan,
it.
obviously. He's Hans Zimmer.
There we go. We take a break. When we come back, we're going to get such a beautiful treat. Stay tuned.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Usimo Ziket Matlala's evidence concluded yesterday after 2 days of questions around his multi-million rand tender and alleged payments to politicians like former Minister Bheki Cele. Matlala was also grilled about alleged infiltration of law enforcement and his links to drug cartels. Committee member Glennis Breitenbach also took time to list all of Matlala's run-ins with the law, dating back 25 years.
And the problem in this country today is that people like yourself clothe yourself in the respectability of calling yourself a businessman when you are nothing but a dishonest thug.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
This is Unplugged on 702 Afternoons with Relebogile, brought to you by FNB Premier Friday, celebrating 25 years of helping you live the Premier life.
12 minutes to 2 o'clock, the Black Hole Symphony. We get to have a sneak peek into this wonderful experience, and we have Yashin Modi and Dr. Luca Pontigia that are performing for us live.
So this is a little piece we like to call Yin Yang. And the process of creation, Luca was opening his laptop, was still getting started. I was getting a bit impatient, so I played this little chord sequence. It goes like this.
And I was thinking about a story about black holes, and I realized that piece could go just for that. You see, I was thinking about the duality of black holes, how black holes are objects which best imprison light, but they also give rise to a process which best releases it. They're called quasars. And at the same time, you have black holes which are the most destructive force in the universe, but they can also be the cauldrons of creation. You see, in all of our bodies, there is a very particular atom, an atom that is responsible for the structure within our cell walls, without which our evolutionary story would not have begun. Now that element can only be created in the most violent processes in the entire universe. Processes like black holes, which are destroying stars, ripping them apart. And in that, these atoms are formed. They are scattered throughout the universe. And at some point in the distant past, they landed on Earth. They mix with all the other elements of life, and they give rise to everything we see today. And it is a reminder that next time you pick up a flower or hold someone's hand, know that in the very fabric of your being, in the cells of your body, lie fragments of cosmic collisions which once spanned the entire universe.
So that's yin yang. Imagine that with 32, 10 violins, 18 violins actually, 6 violas, 5 cellos, and 3 double bass.
And a visual of a star being destroyed by a black hole, creating a picture of the yin-yang symbol.
This other one we like to call a similar composition process. It's just messing around on the piano.
You waiting for him is the composition process.
Actually, that seems to be the common thread.
Yeah. He's very impatient.
My impatience is the inspiration behind the entire score. Okay. But it went something like this.
And one of the pieces that we want to talk about is not always just about science. It's also about the human condition, about being curious, about what is possible when you combine mathematics with curiosity. And we came up with the following analogy. Okay. So we say that our curiosity is like a telescope. It will point us into different directions of our desire. But it is the mathematics that allows us, like the lens of a telescope, to see in the distance. The more powerful the lens, the more we can see with more clarity. And there's this person called Eratosthenes, who, with some very simple mathematics and a simple idea, he was able to deduce the curvature of our planet. And Einstein, many, many years later, with far more powerful mathematics, but still a simple, curious idea, was able to deduce the curvature of our universe.
Nice. I also still sometimes get emotional. This next one is, we actually collaborated with the Joburg Ballet a few months ago. And we had dance, and we worked with a choreographer called Mario Gaglione. I sometimes get the pronunciation, but I try to lean into it.
So Mario was very interesting because he basically listened to the pieces and to the story, and he's like, I want this to be this dance. I want this to be this dance. And so this piece of music was composed in a section of the story where I was talking about how all the stars that come together with planets and the gas form these clusters, which we call galaxies. And so he envisioned all the dancers being on stage like the little stars moving around like a galaxy. And he asked Yash to compose this piece of music, which is also featured in the Black Hole Symphony with the full orchestra.
And it's called 6 tuplets, and it's divided into 6 little sections which have very similar chord progressions, but they're played in very different ways. So even with the symphony, it's like keeps you guessing in terms of what's going to happen next.
That's very emotional. I actually heard an opera somewhere.
No, it's
That is wow.
yeah. The point is, Yash, his ability, because he learns his music by listening to it, I think he translates so much emotion in what he does. And so when I'm trying to tell the story, I'm thinking about what is the emotional arc of the story I'm trying to tell. So maybe there's a part about black holes which is very mysterious. And so he just comes up with a piece of music. I'm like, no, add more mystery, add more mystery. And he just does it. And so there's so much emotion imbued in what he does.
Imbued. I like that word.
I'm very worried for Adrian Gore, your guys' boss.
We actually invited, he comes to our show.
He's going to lose you guys very soon. So what are you going to play out with?
What should we end with? How much time do we have left?
A minute and a bit.
Let's do just the beginning part of Einstein.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So point is, our stories are often ending in a philosophical note because it's about us and what it means to be curious and what it means to be expressive in our desires. And that's what we want to end off all our shows with. So this was a piece at the end of one of the talks, which explores the idea of how Einstein, when he was a kid, standing by the edge of a lake, was struck with an idea, a simple thought. What would it look like if you could travel upon a particle of light? And to most people, this idea would be pointless, irrelevant. But to Einstein, that idea was all he needed. Because it became a seed in his mind that germinated into what we know now as the gravitational law of the universe, the general theory of relativity, a theory that inspired so many scientists to come up with devices that could measure vibrations of space and time to 1/10,000th the width of a proton. And the point is, curiosity is not just for scientists and engineers. It is for all of us. We are born with it. Sometimes we lose it when we get older. It gets lost in our fears, in our doubt, in our insecurities. But hidden within us lies a potential that we do not even understand yet. And to find that, we need to follow our curiosity. It is the light within that will help us find it.
The Black Hole Symphony, ladies and gentlemen. 200 tickets left. So make sure you go and get to enjoy this phenomenal experience. Gentlemen, wow.
Mzansi, get ready to pun the Pusha Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 65 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday.